If you could go back in time and talk to that Justin Schmidt who's just about to go out and play his first pro game, would you have any advice, maybe a heads up on what to expect? Anything that comes to mind that you would just want to grab a younger version of yourself and warn them about something?
It's funny. I think I ponder that. I ponder this exact same thing pretty much every morning.
That better be a good answer.
Is this before or after you eat 8 raw eggs?
Yeah, I started doing that a long time ago. I don't know, you guys, like, there's so many bad choices I made, like unhealthy choices I made away from the rink, like, just with drugs and stuff that, at the time I didn't understand the severity of what I was doing to myself. And it got me into, in a lot of trouble off the ice, when my career was just taking off, and I was getting in so much shit away from the rink, because at the higher level, especially if you're trying to break in to, to the next level, and, this kid's got lots of off ice issues. They don't want to work with that. They want to work with a guy that's living clean, eating healthy. Like I said, I was always in good shape and stuff. And like I said, before hangovers actually became a thing, when you're in your 20s, you don't really feel hangovers. So, but just the choices I made away from the rink, and, I got into lots of, well-documented legal troubles and stuff that probably put a stop to, how far I could have went with the game at the higher levels.
Can I ask about those problems,
Schmidt? Oh yeah, shoot. I was an alcoholic probably by the time I was 15 or 16 for sure. So in junior, I drank a lot, and I got in shit for it in junior. But then, when I was in the Southern League, like it was a big, Coke culture, right? You go out and it's everywhere. And like, I remember I was actually talking to Beth. I remember like my first season in the Southern League, I don't think there was a day where I wasn't doing cocaine, and, like it was always free, because we were these big names. So everybody wanted to party with us, so it was always so readily available for myself. And so I got myself in a fair bit of hot water for that. And then, when I went to the Central League, I was in Rocky Mountain, and I was doing really well. I was leading the league in majors. I was playing a regular shift. We were first place in the Central League. There was a ton of guys, going to the American League every day. There was guys going to the American League, and I was cleaning up. I think I had 18 majors in 10 games or something. And my agent called me, and he said, there's a lot of American League attention, so be ready. And I went out that night and got drunk, and I was trying to find blow at this bar we were at, and I couldn't find any blow, and didn't think anything of it. And the next morning I got to practice and put my shit on, and coach goes, Schmitty, get in my office. And I go in the office, and he goes, "You fucking idiot, you tried to buy fucking coke from a undercover cop last night. Get the fuck out of here. We're putting you on waivers." And then it was just like I had such a bad reputation, and I bounced around the minors forever. But there was always that whatever, I don't know what the word is, but there was always like
that label, a label on you.
You know what I mean? I can never really escape that. So yeah, if I definitely wouldn't have. If I could go back, I would have grabbed that kid before he ever shoved that $100 bill up his nose. I probably I probably would have knocked the shit out of him for sure, you know.
Did you ever end up doing any time for that, or they let you off for that one?
They let me off, you know, but it was, and then, you know, I did a lot of other dumb shit and got arrested a bunch of times for non-drug related things, but yeah, I didn't do any jail time for that, but yeah, just lots of arrests for doing stupid shit all over the place, and those things follow you, and then by the time I decided to clean up my act, I was too old and too slow to try and make it to the next level.
At what point did you figure out that your path to playing pro was with your knuckles? Was there a point where you thought, no, I can be a goal scorer, I can be a shutdown guy? You know, was there any other route that you saw?
I think, you know, very early on, I went to Notre Dame for high school.
Good old Willcox, Saskatchewan. Yep.
Yeah, and you know, like, I was a good bantam. I wasn't drafted. Wasn't drafted to the Western League in bantam. I played midget AAA, and back then there was a lot of fighting in midget hockey still in Saskatchewan. And I was fighting quite a bit, and I had really, really grades. And my coach, his name was Mike Merriman. I still kind of stay in touch with him. He was 70% deaf, and you know, he played in the SJ, and then got a full ride to Ohio State. He was Ohio State's captain. Could have had a great pro career, but he chose to become a teacher, and you know, ended up going back to Willcox. But my grades were dog shit, and he said, "Schmitty, like, what are you going to do with yourself? You know, like, you're obviously not going to be a doctor." And I was like, well, I'm going to play as long as I can. Like, I can burn this one to the filter. And I knew I was going to do that when I was 15 years old. And he's just like, well, if you're going to play as long as you can, you're going to have to do the jobs that no one else wants to do. And I took that to heart. And, you know, I became a really good penalty killer. And when I went to the Western League, I fought every single big name I could in the dub, and you know, in the SJ, and even early on in my pro career, when, like, you know, there was a lot of heavyweights, I went everybody, and it did work in my favor. I probably held myself back in a sense, maybe because, like, I probably could have played a bit more of a skill role early on, but at the same time, I always had that job security too. You know, I was always doing the shit jobs that no one wanted to do.
Willcox is pretty legendary for their campus stories, and for those that don't know, Willcox, Saskatchewan is basically just a town that is the prep school for those that would understand it down in the States. 90% dudes, 10% girls. Your experience as a new boy playing in Willcox, I'm curious to know if you've got any good stories.
Oh yeah, so my dad was a hound, and all my uncles went there and stuff. So there was that family legacy, and I always wanted to experience it. When I was, like I said, when I was a new boy, I was pretty lucky that, like, I was pretty wild. So the guys kind of kept me to a distance, you know, like I was pretty fortunate. I can't ever remember them.
Were you still dragging laundry though? Were you still doing the new boy
oh
task?
Yeah, like
okay.
you still had to do, you know, your rookie duties for sure. But I mean, I never, you know, I didn't get hazed or whatever, you know, and nobody kicked the shit out of me or nothing like that. Although it probably would have did me some good at times. But
Dave, if you enjoyed what you just saw, we do new clips every single day, twice a day on the Clips channel. You see clips right here. And beside Dave's crotch, we have a full-length show every single Sunday, right by my hand.
Click right here.